Welcome to the inaugural series of 5 Minutes for Good, a place for leading voices to share initiatives that go beyond the commercial. In this first series, we hear the flip side and discover what the travel industry is doing for good. Following a short intro, guests will be given their 5 minutes for good, firing up the engines, inspiring action, and making us think, that was 5 minutes well spent.
Five
minutes for good. Welcome, Bruce Poon Tip, to your 5 minutes for good. Thank you very much for joining us in this inaugural series of the podcast. But Bruce, before we get into your 5 minutes for good, tell those who don't necessarily know you a little about yourself.
I'm the founder of G Ventures and the Planetary Foundation, I guess is what I'm most known for. An entrepreneur, and I'm someone who has, always been, I guess, a pioneer when it comes to community tourism and how tourism can be transformational and, in essence, good, I guess. And that's where I came from as an entrepreneur, but also quite an advocate for how travel can change the world.
Wonderful. So, Bruce, this is your 5 minutes for good. Over to you.
Thank you. Well, at G Ventures, we kind of are the global kind of pioneer of community tourism. So what we do is, the best is creating dialogue with communities and making sure communities benefit when we're visiting other countries, and making sure local communities rise as we become more successful. That's been our goal for 35 years that we've been in existence. We do numerous things as well, that are unique to the travel industry, which we have a Ripple score, for instance, which is how we do our buying and how we create our tours, surveying all of our buying to make sure all of the money stays in the local economy and give the consumer a score of how much of the money to run their tour with us stays in the local economy. Like that includes every hotel, transportation, and gives more information to the customer, more power to the customer to make those decisions. But we also have a lot of guidelines that we offer the entire industry that we, like our animal welfare guidelines, our indigenous community guidelines. We also have a child welfare guidelines program as well, which is, just ways in which operators can work better with communities and making sure the development of tourism includes dialogue with communities and local people, which for many years, tourism has been kind of a one-way kind of conversation, which is the experience of the customer. When there's much more benefits for tourism being transformational for everyone once someone decides to go on holidays, and it's the opportunity within the travel industry to be truly a transformational industry, because we're traveling to the poorest countries in the world, and tourism can be a great form of wealth distribution and alleviate poverty when done right. So we've created a lot of different things, on the ground. And also, Ripple Score is something that we communicate to our customers in terms of where their money is going. But also, we also have Trees for Days, where we plant a tree for every day you travel with us to address the climate issue as well with our travelers, and also have our travelers participate in how they can, how we look at the environment. We planted, I think we just surpassed 4 million trees in our first 2 years of Trees for Days. And those are just a sample of things we do. We have, GX, which is a big summit we run every year. We fund that ourselves, bringing people from all parts of the world, and it's a summit on community tourism. It was the first actually summit on community tourism, which we started in Peru 3 years ago and moves around every year. Last year we had it in India. This year we have it. It's coming up in a couple of months actually in Jordan. And it's growing every year, and it's something where travelers can come, tour operators come, media comes, and sees firsthand how tourism can impact local people and raise people out of poverty. So, we do quite a bit of different things, but those are kind of highlights of how we look at operations, communication with the communities, and protecting, various groups of marginalized communities when operating tours and setting standards that are available to anyone in the industry, but also how we have ripple scores to interpret that to our customers.
That's fascinating. I mean, that is quite an in-depth structure to a business. It's really well considered, really well thought out, and the fact that you actually do it as well. And
Mhm.
I've witnessed it, I've seen it, and it's really empowering the energy that the G Adventures appears to have and the good that it does on the ground. I think that's the really
Yeah.
amazing part of it, that it actually does touch those lives.
Yeah. Well, dialogue with communities is everything, and making sure they participate in and can also be brought into the tourism economy, and they have the opportunity to, um, you know, benefit from the richness that tourism offers. When a traveler goes to another country, they have the benefit, they have the opportunity to also create a rich experience for local people. And so when we do it, when we create tourism in countries and don't include community development in creating tourism, we rob those local communities of the richness that tourism offers. Cultures, whether it's cultural heritage preservation, environmental preservation, or community development, or poverty alleviation. These are all things that travel can transform some of the poorest countries and most in need citizens on the planet.
You have almost got 2 5 minutes for good there, which is okay. I might actually do a second version of this as well, because I think your story is so brilliant. I think the first half of how you explain G-Adventure as the principle of it, and then secondly, going into the trees and talking of the olive groves and the indigenous.
Also be involving the community along the way, really. And so and having those trees planted in the destination you just traveled in. So it's not just a carbon credit that you're buying because you travel to Africa or you travel to Latin America. And who knows where that carbon credit is. You're actually, and if it's a food tree, which we're doing fruit trees, all the trees in different communities, you're creating revenue for the communities planting the trees, but also years of revenue from, because some of these there are hundreds of thousands of trees. There's 4 million that we've done so far in 2 years. So just think in 10 years time we can be up to 10 million, and the
Awesome.
benefits of the environmental benefits, as well as um, the community impact of the revenue from trees, or the food supply from, because a lot of these communities also have food insecurity. So we can address all of those things at the same time as, and our customers also participating in it. So one of the things that's exciting that we do is get our groups excited, because when we create communities with our groups, and when a group comes together and there's like 10 people, for instance, on a 10-day trip, that's 100 trees for that group. We actually, gamify it a bit, where the group can, come together and raise money on their trip and double their trees, and stuff like that. So they're participating in the process and not just, believing in this carbon offset concept. Which I'm not criticizing it, because any good is good. But I was not comfortable with that, and we weren't comfortable with just doing that, especially when you hire these consultants to evaluate your carbon footprint, and you get these wild swings in response. Like, they're not even close between the companies, so it's not a science. And so there's a cheaper way and a more expensive way all the time, and depending on where you plant the trees, or where you want to do the carbon offsets, and what you're going to buy for carbon credits. And that's an industry, that's a business. Whereas we actually just want to do good. We just actually want it to do good and benefit that country, and we want people that travel with us to participate in that process.
Well, thank you, Bruce. I think it goes without saying that you are doing good.
Thank you.
That is very clear.
For us, it's about, our one of our key core values as a business is do the right thing. And so, when we decided, from everything we do on the ground, we understand that people see that it is good, but we think it's the right thing to do. Of course, there's business benefits to it. We've grown our business around, our brand promise. But at the same time, we do the right thing every time. And when it comes to operating tours, and dealing with local businesses to put together these amazing experiences we offer to travelers, there's just a better way to do it. it's a long way. I mean, all these programs that we put together here, it sounds all neatly packaged. You said it's so well thought out. We've been doing it it's been 15 years of putting these programs together. Trees for Days is the last component of the full kind of cycle of it. And we've always kind of taken the hard road because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much. It's wonderful. This has been a flawless podcast already. It's so interesting. It's so well relayed over. But before we go, Bruce, it's time to drop your guard and go a little off piste.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you if there's one thing you could do for 5 minutes that isn't necessarily for good. What might that be?
I mean, my first answer is spend time with my family. So if I could do anything for 5 minutes, that's the first answer. It'd be spend time with my family. But if it's something that if I could use my imagination, it could be anything. I'd probably be like fly or travel back in time and buy Apple stock in early 1990s. I don't know. Something like that, if I could do anything. But if I had 5 minutes to do anything, it would definitely be spending time with my family.
Well, Bruce, thank you. That was 5 minutes very well spent.
Thank you.
That was 5 minutes well spent.